I sold my Airpods Max and purchased the Focal Batiste. Take a look at my new Focal Batiste headphones. Well, in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about what made me sell my Airpods Max, which were 1.5 years old. Well, where do I start? The AirPods Max. The AirPods Max are terrible when it comes to battery because they do not have a goddamn power button. So the fact that they don't have a power button means that the battery degrades over time. So no matter what you do, even if you use the smart case, the battery degrades. I am very good at managing my headphones, and I always keep my AirPods Max inside the smart case. But unfortunately, no matter what you do, the low power mode that the AirPods Max go into once you put them in the smart case is no substitute for a power button. Now, when I bought the AirPods Max, I knew very well that there is no power button, but it was a hard overhead decision. I decided to buy my AirPods Max, nevertheless. And basically, I thought it's an Apple product. So let's just take a look and see what it's like. I mean, there's no power button, but probably they've done a good job in terms of battery management, but that's not the case. So let me give you a bit of background into how I use my AirPods Max. I use my AirPods Max an hour or almost an hour a day, and the battery lasts me 6 days. So yeah, an hour a day. Once I finish using them to listen to music, I put them in the smart case and put them inside. That's what I do. So once it's fully charged, I get 6 days of battery life this way. On the 6th day, the battery is hovering somewhere between the 22 to the 23% range when it comes to the battery. So 22 to 23% after 6 days of use, an hour a day, and that's when I charge them. Once I charge my AirPods Max, I start using them again the same way. So I've been doing that for the last 1.5 years, and suddenly over the last 1 month, I observed that the battery capacity has diminished. So what used to be 22 to 23% battery life after 6 days is now turning out to be 14 to 15% battery life after 6 days. So in other words, the battery has degraded. It's no longer having the same battery capacity. So, I mean, these are my Sony XM4 headphones. I've been using these headphones for the past 3 years, and I use them for about 9 hours a week. Been using them since 2023, and I still use them 9 hours a week to watch movies on my TV. And I charge them once every 3 to 4 weeks, between 3 to 4 weeks, after using them for 9 hours every week. And I've been charging them the same way for the last 3 years. The battery has not degraded because they have a fucking power on-off button. When I'm not using them, I can turn them off like every other goddamn electronic product. And the AirPods Max, they don't have a power button, so the battery degrades. So if you're buying the AirPods Max, the new AirPods Max, AirPods Max 2, whatever, or the old last-gen AirPods Max, please keep in mind that the battery is shit. You're gonna end up, buying a lemon. Now the AirPods Max, nothing would last. I can't understand why Apple couldn't make a product that has a proper on-off button, a power switch. I mean, it's a basic necessity. Even my phone has a power on-off switch. I mean, every electronic item has a power on-off switch. and they sell you some crap that doesn't have a power on off button. And they're talking about corporate yada yada yada, corporate stooge bullshit, wherein they say, we have corporate sustainability, we're trying to reduce the amount of e-waste, and that's why we've done away with the charging brick in the iPhone case. We're no longer going to give you a headset with it, or the earphones with it, and we're gonna, you can use your old Apple earphones or your Apple charging bricks. And what about this corporate stooge bullshit wherein they give us a product which doesn't have a goddamn power on off button? How much e-waste does that generate? Because the battery degrades over time. I'll have to charge my AirPods Max every 5 days now, and maybe in a year's time, the AirPods Max the battery capacity is gonna dwindle further. So I decided this is the best time to get rid of the AirPods Max. I just sold my AirPods Max and bought the Focal Batiste instead. So yeah, one thing I have to say to you is the AirPods Max have excellent build quality. They're built like a fucking German tank. Now, the Focal Batiste, they have good build quality, but I don't think they're even close to the AirPods Max in terms of build quality. I would say that the Focal Batiste are like a 4 out of 5 in terms of build quality. You can see these plastic hinges here. The the rivets here might break, but no such issues with the AirPods Max. The AirPods Max are built like a tank. They're just like a fucking solid brick of metal. And I would give it a 5 out of 5 in terms of build quality for the AirPods Max. And of course, these are the XM4s, plastic crap. And yeah, I'm careful with my headphones. I don't use them in a rough way. I'm very careful with my headphones, so I'm able to keep them. The reason I bought the AirPods Max is I was impressed with the build quality. I was looking for something that is going to last me a long time. But unfortunately, the battery is shit, and it's not going to last you a long time just because the body is great and the build quality is great. The battery is just going to die, and you're just going to chuck it in a couple of years. So save yourself the money, buy yourself something good. Don't buy yourself the AirPods Max, okay? Don't make the mistake that I did. Go with something good. Don't waste your money on the AirPods Max. Now, the Focal Batiste, another thing I want to talk to you, other than the battery capacity, is the lack of a proper charging indicator on the AirPods Max. Now, when I hook up the AirPods Max and charge them, there is a small LED light that comes up to indicate that, I hooked up the AirPods Max to the electric supply or whatever. It just glows for a moment and then disappears in about a second or two. That's it. Once the AirPods Max are fully charged, you don't get any indication from that LED that the AirPods Max have been fully charged. You don't know anything. You just need to turn on your goddamn phone and check out and see if your AirPods Max are fully charged or when they're fully charged. That's another fucking bullshit. I mean, why can't you have that stupid LED on the AirPods Max glow while it's charging and completely shut off? Or in other words, stop glowing after it's fully charged. That's what happens with the XM4 headphones. I'm sure it happens with any Bluetooth headphones. The LED indicator glows when it's charging. Once it's fully charged, the LED indicator just stops glowing. That way you know it's charged, just disconnect it. Same thing with the Batiste. They have an LED indicator around here near the buttons here. The LED indicator keeps flashing white while it's charging. Once it's fully charged, it turns into a solid white LED light. So I just unplug them immediately when I see that. Don't know what Apple was thinking when they made the AirPods Max, but you don't have any indicator which says that's fully charged. You need to hook up your phone and see if it's charged or not. I mean, really, Apple? You're a fucking $1 trillion company. You're taking trillions of dollars to the bank and running away with the loot. You can't even design a fucking power button You can't design a proper LED indicator to indicate the charging status of the fucking headphones. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with Apple? All right, I'm sorry about the rant. I'm sorry about the swearing, but the AirPods Max just got my goat. You got it, people. It got my goat. Now, I just talked to you about the LED indicator of the AirPods Max, which is another shitty thing which Apple didn't do properly with the AirPods Max. Another thing I want to talk to you about is the sound quality of the AirPods Max. Now, the first time I got my AirPods Max, I turned on my phone, turned on my AirPods Max and listened to the song, and I was like, hey, the AirPods Max sound just like my Bear Dynamic DT770 Pro 32 ohm wired headphones that I was using to listen to music on my phone with. I don't find much of a difference. I mean, if you know the Bear Dynamic DT770 Pro headphones, they're not really good in terms of bass. They have good mid-range, they have good treble, but the bass is totally lacking. I had the same experience with the AirPods Max once I turned on my, once I connected them to my phone and used them for the first time. I'm like, what is this? Did I just spend big bucks for, another Bear Dynamic DT770 Pro headphone? Come on, Apple. I mean, I even contemplated selling my AirPods Max during the first month that I purchased it because I was not happy with the bass. I mean, I'm expecting something better when I buy a pair of headphones. The bass was just horrible. That's when I decided, let me go ahead and download a EQ, third-party EQ app from the Apple Store. Now, the EQ app that you have with the AirPods Max, there is no EQ app, there's nothing. You just have the generic EQ settings which you have on the music app on your iPhone. Like either the hip hop or the vocal booster or electronic or rock or yada yada yada, whatever you have, all those presets. You don't have an option to manually customize each and every frequency level. You don't have a custom EQ there. And the AirPods Max, once you connect it to your iPhone, you have a little bit of an option there wherein you can, choose either vocal or balanced or bright options for your music, depending on your preference. Bright emphasizes the high end, makes it more sparkly. Balanced is more neutral, and vocal emphasizes vocals. That's it. And you have an option wherein you can alter the sound profile to either slightly boosted, moderately boosted, or higher boosted. That's it. So that's all the options you have. So once I tinkered with everything, it was still sounding bad. That's when I decided to get the third-party EQ app from the iOS store and from the Apple Store. And once I used that third-party app, which had a 10-band graphic equalizer, manual equalizer, and also a bass booster, the transformation of the AirPods Max was like night and day. It was sounding so good. There was a lot of bass. It was just amazing to listen to. And that's when I dropped the idea of selling the AirPods Max and I decided to continue with it. But the problem with that is the app only works with Apple Music. So once you switch over to Netflix on your phone, or you use a YouTube video, or you watch Amazon Prime or some other streaming service, it goes back to the default EQ because the app only works with Apple Music. So if you're watching Netflix, fat chance, just stick with the goddamn default EQ, which has that high treble and mid-range, which is focused, and lacking bass. It just sounds so horrible. It sounds like my DT770 Pro headphones, which lack bass. And that's not useful because if I switch to Netflix, I would like to get the same bass. I would like the EQ settings stored in my freaking AirPods Max headphones. I don't want my EQ settings to be available to me only when I use the app. That's not the case with the Focal Batis. When I use the Focal Batis, they have a freaking dedicated app with a 5-band EQ. Yeah, I know a 5-band EQ is not a 10-band EQ, but that's more than enough for the Batis. They sound amazing. The AirPods Max out of the box with the default EQ and the default everything, or whatever EQ you have on your iPhone without a third-party app, the AirPods Max, I'd give the sound quality a 5 out of 10. Whereas the Focal Batiste, with the same EQ turned off, with whatever generic settings are on your iPhone, if you use that, the sound quality of the Batiste, great bass, very good mid-range, very good treble, sounds amazing. The bass is present. It's not overpowering, but it's just the punchy bass that you get. It's just the right amount without anything anything too much. So it's just beautiful. It sounds beautiful. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10 without EQ, just using the default settings. And once I EQ them, the Batiste, they just move into a different realm altogether. I would give it a 10 out of 10 after EQ. And the EQ stays there with the Focal Batiste. Whatever EQ I have decided to configure my Batiste to, that EQ gets saved in my Batiste, and I can use them on my TV or on my laptop or on Netflix app or whatever app. That EQ, I can save different EQs. I can save one for movies, one for music, and they get saved here on my headphones. All I gotta do is change that EQ on the app, get saved. I can go to my TV, watch them with that EQ setting. It's just brilliant. But AirPods Max, you can't do any of that jack shit. It's just a jack shit piece of crap. So that's another reason why you shouldn't buy the AirPods Max. And that's another reason why I sold my AirPods Max. Well, the main reason was because because of the battery, but these are all secondary reasons. And another thing I want to talk to you about is the build, not just the build quality. I'm talking to you about the buttons. When it comes to buttons, the AirPods Max, they're just really good. All they have are two buttons: the digital crown, which you use to change the volume, and the transparency, noise control, activation buttons. That's it, just two buttons. They're so well laid out, just two buttons and you do everything. But look at the Batiste. It's got so many buttons. It's got like a volume plus and minus button, a button in the middle for Bluetooth configuration, which can be used as a button to pause, play, skip tracks. It's got this on-off button. And of course, I bought the Batiste because I need an on-off button. You've got the voice assistant button. You've got all these things here. So many buttons. AirPods Max does it without clutter. Just two buttons, they do everything. All Apple could have done is to have the digital crown be the on-off button as well. How difficult is it for Apple to design the digital crown button in such a way that a long press would power it off completely? I mean, I'm okay with 20 hours of battery life, man. I'm okay with that, but I mean, I don't get 20 hours. I have to charge it every 6 days, despite the fact that, I use it for just 1 hour a day. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There are a lot of people out there who don't use the headphones continuously for hours and hours. They just want to use the headphone for maybe half an hour, put it in, and they want the headphone to last. But yeah, a lack of a power button, what a piece of crap. So yeah, there you go, man. There you go. Those are the reasons I got rid of my AirPods Max and I bought the Focal Batiste. So the Focal Batiste, yeah, they sound great. They look great. I just hope they last me a while. I just wish they were not having all the plastic parts here, like I wish they were completely metal like the AirPods Max, but hey, beggars can be choosers, and they are definitely well built compared to the, Sony XM4s. So yeah, that is what I think of the Focal Batiste, and that's the reason why I got rid of my AirPods Max. To any of you guys who are contemplating buying the AirPods Max 2, don't waste your money. Just go for some other headphones, maybe a Bowers & Wilkins or a Focal Batiste, or, the Sony or a Bose. Go for something else. The soundstage on the Focal Batiste is great. I don't need spatial audio. spatial audio, yeah, it's good, but I mean, if you buy good headphones, you would have good soundstage separation. The Focal Batiste, they have great soundstage separation. Maybe not to the extent of the soundstage separation of the AirPods Max, but they have great soundstage separation. These are not good in terms of soundstage separation. I wouldn't compare these headphones with the AirPods Max in terms of sound quality or in terms of soundstage separation. The Batiste, they are on a different level in terms of sound quality. If you want really good headphones, go for something good. Don't go for AirPods Max. They're just shit. Okay, so that's the end of my rant with the AirPods Max. And yeah, my 3-year-old XM4's right here. A little bit of problem with the headband. It seems to be having a little bit of wear after all these years. I wonder where I can get these protectors from my Batiste. I'm gonna try and look for those because I really need those. So that's it. Those are my new Focal Batiste. And have any questions, please leave a comment and I can try and answer them for you. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.